YouTube, what is up? So we have the final, well, not the final figure, but the final Shang-Chi and the Legends of Ten Rings uh, figure. So this is the final MCU figure of that way. The other two are the Silver Warrior and the AI Iron Man. Um, the more I dig into this wave and these figures and into Shang-Chi and the Master of Kung Fu, and looking through what a lot of the speculations are on the movie, like everybody's listing Wen Wu as the Mandarin. So it looks like it's gonna be true, man. So I keep saying, and I kept saying in some of the other videos, especially in Wen Wu's, like, yeah, maybe the Mandarin could be somebody else. And then, the more you dive in and you look into what everybody's reporting, they're pretty much saying that, yeah, he's going to be the Mandarin. So we'll see what happens. So here we have Xialing, and I try to like look into her history. And like I was saying off the bat, like there's nothing in the comics that refer to her. I went through some of the older masters of kung fu material, and I can't find anything. The closest thing would be Esme, who is Sister Dagger, and she's from the House of Daggers, which is in France. She has affiliation with the Five Weapon Society and Champions. Now, it's weird because there was a story of is it the current story of Shang-Chi where they run into each other but they don't know that they're related, and they go on this journey where Shang-Chi ends up getting like hurt, and he's trying to figure out a way to cure himself while going through all these fights. And it's a really weird story. It's a good story. I can't remember a lot of the details because that one is very. It should be very fresh, but there's so much useless knowledge on comic books in this brain of mine. I do remember that, and I do remember her not trusting him, and finally, they're trying to stop their other sister, who is Sister Hammer, and she's actually the one who set Shang-Chi up in this story and poisoned him because when they were kids they went looking for some sweets, like some sweet bread, and they entered a forbidden room, and Zhang Zhu, who is Fu Manchu, and that is another alias name, and that's the alias name that I would have assumed they would have went with in this movie instead of Wen Wu. And I think that would have been, it would have made things less confusing, I should say. And hopefully I'm not confusing you guys any further. But they go into this forbidden room, and Zheng Wu burned a mark on her head. So we know Sister Hammer has a burn mark on her head, and he tells Shang-Chi that he had her executed when she was sent to Russia, to the House of Deadly Hammers, and she ends up running the House of Deadly Hammers. But when um, Zing Wu dies, it chooses, there's like this will who chooses a person. So whoever's the head of a certain house, it's like it's a spinning wheel who the spirit of Fu Manchu or Xingwu will spin this wheel, and then, when everybody's together, and then it will choose a successor. It chooses Shang Chi, and Sister Hammer doesn't like that, so she goes and poisons him, and then she's got all this animosity towards him because Zing Wu tells her, when asked, like, "Hey, does my brother think about me? And she's like, Zingbu tells her, no, your brother doesn't care about you and whatever. So she built up a lot of animosity towards him, even though they loved each other when they were kids. And it's kind of weird because when they first run into each other, they hug each other, and then she poisons him because she has so much hate towards him and what had occurred. And they have another sister. They have a couple brothers as well, but Zing Bu Yu, who is also known as Follow Shu, and she's the Cursed Lotus, and she's the leader of and director of MI6 at one point, and she's bad at the same time. So she is neither one of those two sisters, and she closely reminds me of Esme, Sister Dagger, but there are no daggers in here. So there's this little funny thing here. Who knows what the hell is really going on? Um, when her estranged brother Shang-Chi suddenly shows up in her life, Xialing must choose between the solitary life she created for herself or join her brother in the fight against the Ten Rings. So, yeah. In package, good looking figure. Typical female, no waist, hip, swivel articulation thingy going on there. We're going to crack this open, and hopefully this is going to be a shorter video than the rest. Not really much to touch up on her. As far as her backstory, we went over that. Nothing really going on. And did we show the back of this thing? Yeah, well, there it is. There's that read up that I just read to you. UPC there. Something just fell out. I don't know what the hell that was. But this figure looks. Sorry, shouldn't have did that. Out boy. Out boy. Sorry, my dogs came in here. I got a couple of huskies, and they are. Oh, come on! I'm sorry. Sorry about that. They're always happy to see me. But anyway, here she is out of package. Good looking female figure. Hands are a little weird. Color's probably a little bit off on here. But the legs look really big. I don't know, man. I really want to like a lot of the female figures, and I do for the most part. But man, they're like her legs look really thick, and maybe they're just supposed to be meant to look baggy. But then they make her arms look really skinny, and we have yeah, same thing. No swivel here. We do got the upper thigh swivel, double jointed knees, pinless on the arms. Uh, Not too bad. These hands just make me irritated for some reason. I have no idea why. Good looking figure. Can looks like it's gonna be a little bit annoying. But looks a little stiff, just like most of the other female figures, because we don't have a swivel at the waist, and that's one thing that we've been complaining about for a long time. We do have Mr. Hyde's upper torso, really cool, man. I think I have both of the arms. We can lock those in since we're not going to be talking about nothing else in regards to Xialing. Yeah, man, this is gonna come together really, really nicely. And we have Mr. Fix It here, right? And that is part of whatever the hell his own wave. He's the builder figure, but we know that this is the Gamerverse version, comic book version. I believe he wore a bow tie, and this is gonna make perfect for that. So I do believe we're gonna get a Mr. Fix It at some point, maybe with a longer trench coat. So all they would have to do is redo this piece and make it longer. You have everything there, a new head sculpt. The bow tie is gonna be perfect for him, And then finally, we may be able to get a patch Wolverine in a suit. That's what I want. I've been wanting that for quite some time. And hopefully, they're going to give it to us because all the ingredients are there for the Mr. Fix It. And it will accurately uh, look as if it was in what year was that? 80, 88 Wolverine, the first ongoing series, because we had that limited series where we have that epic him grinning with his claws, that the Rubenstein comic. Hopefully you guys know what the hell I'm talking about, man, and I'm not just babbling and you're like lost already. But she did have a little weapon. uh yeah, I hate this figure. There's nothing I like about it. It looks okay. It's gonna look nice on the shelf. However, yeah, man, this is not necessarily something I think anybody would have wanted, and it's probably gonna grow on you when the movie comes out. Maybe you like the character, like that happens quite often. And I'm sorry for all this noise, and I shouldn't have done this way. We're gonna look at her teeny little hands she has here, and we got, besides those open hands, we got fisted hands, really small. We got a single gripping hand, which is cool. I would have loved to at least have one on Death Dealer. And then I don't know. This looks like it's giving the sign for in sign language for hungry when you're like, you know, yeah. So who knows? Um, I really want to get these hands out of here because they're annoying me for some reason. Yeah, it looks a little better with fisted hands. And then let's throw this gripping hand on her. Throw her weapon if she can hold it. I mean, I don't know what the hell's going on with this thing. But yeah, not a, now that we got her dressed up a little bit, that's a little better looking. Like she's ready for some action. But that's gonna do it for this figure. Um, Maybe it'll grow on you. Um, the head sculpt is really nice and really pretty looking, but the overall look of her is not that great. But again, maybe with the movie coming out and all that other jazz, we might end up liking her. The more I play with her, the more I like her. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, please like, subscribe, and as always, take care. Up next is going to be the Silver Warrior and the AI Tony Stark, and we're going to do those two in one video, and that'll be a wrap from the Mr. Hyde Build-A-Figure. So again, like, sub, and as always, take care.